What's going on, guys? It's Mr. DEBT Joe Lorick from the Money Etiquette Group here with another IPO video for you. And today we're talking about McAfee. If you've been using a computer for the last 20 or 30 years, you know exactly who McAfee is. You know about that little icon at the bottom of your computer screen that says that, you know, your software, your computer is protected from hackers. It goes through regular updates. Yes, if you've used a computer, I don't care if it's a big back, old school computer or a laptop, any computer that you've used in the last 30 years, it's likely that at least one of them had McAfee software on it. So let's talk about the company and the IPO. Now, let's briefly go over the background of the company. John McAfee founded McAfee in the 1980s, and then it exploded in the 1990s in the age of the internet. When the internet went from dial-up to broadband services, we noticed that, of course, internet speeds were faster, and there was a need for more security. So whether you were using a computer for school, whether you were using it with your company for data processing, it didn't matter what you were using it for. About 70 to 80% of those computers likely had the McAfee icon in the bottom right hand of the corner of the screen because the McAfee software was installed. He worked with Microsoft, he worked with Apple, worked with several companies to blow this company up. I'm sorry, not him, but the company did, to make sure that McAfee was a giant when it came to software security by the 90s. John McAfee himself, I believe he stepped down from the company in 1994. And then in 1996, he sold all his shares. So from the time of 1996 until the present, John McAfee himself didn't have a stake in the company, but he was a big part of building the company. So let's not ignore that at all. And we'll get back into John McAfee a little bit later in the video, especially for all my cryptocurrency fans and people who follow cryptocurrencies. You know John McAfee, you know about the things he said recently, and you know what's going on. So we'll talk about that later. But getting back into the company. When we get to where it is today, okay, today we have over 600 million devices that has McAfee software installed on it. And this year, they just turned from a non-profitable company to a profitable company again. Back in 2011, by the way, this company did go private. It was public then, and then it went private in a purchase by Intel. And this is going to be the second time that the company goes back to being public. So this is not the first run with McAfee going public and being a publicly traded stock. But nevertheless, let's get back to the finances. When we look at the company today, I believe this year, as of the first 6 months, as of June, I believe 27th, 2020, the company brought in $31 million of net income. Okay, they had a net income of $31 million. Which is impressive considering in the same time frame last year in 2019, by June 27, 2019, they had a loss of $146 million. Again, if we've seen anything about my IPO videos, you know that this is typical when a company is going to go public. Usually they fix the books the years they're going public and then they look better. But we also have to pay attention to the long-term debt. And this company is highly leveraged. As of, I believe, June 2020, they have about $4.7 billion in long-term debts. So again, this is a company that has a lot of debt. But when you look at what they're going to be doing in terms of going public, I'm not saying they're going to pay off all of their debt, but certainly they can become more liquid. They're putting out 37 million Class A shares for between $19 and $22 per share. On October 22nd, that's the date that we expect to see that they're going to price it. And right now it's saying 19 to 22, but by the 22nd, it could be 30. It could be 17 or 15. It all depends on where the market is and how people will feel about the confidence in the company. My guess, it probably sticks around, it might go up a little bit. It might even go up to 25 because of the popularity of the brand. When it comes to cybersecurity, the brand of McAfee is strong. And that's something that helps when you have IPOs, because you have the general public believing this is a great company just because they've been around so long, because they've been around 20, 30 years. They've seen the brand. They know what it stands for. Some people, when they think about software security, when they think about security against hackers, they think about McAfee. It's a name that automatically comes up. So, and we also remember, if you were born in the 80s and you lived in the 90s as a teenager, or you were an adult in the 90s, you remember you got the McAfee software disc in the mail on a regular basis. So we are just very familiar with the brand, which is why you might see this IPO go up a little bit based on the popularity of the company. But Nevertheless, when we look at them, they employ about 6,850 people globally. So we're not talking about an extremely large company when it comes to their worker base, which could be a good thing when you look at 2020 companies. When you look at a 2030 company, you want to have less employees and you want to have more production and you want to have more use. So you don't want to necessarily have a company that has 100,000 people. That's not what they're built to do. They're built to be small, have a few thousand people, but then serve hundreds of millions of people. Now, getting into the current ownership and who has the highest stake in the company today, as of 2017, that would be TBG Capital, because in 2017, they bought 51% stake in the company for $4.2 billion. Before then, it was Intel who took the company private, and they bought the company pretty much for a deal for $7.65 billion. Now getting back to John McAfee, if you are a cryptocurrency fan, if you're a tech fan, you know the name John McAfee, you know the person, because he's one of the most outspoken people in the tech world, in the coding world. He has a YouTube channel. He speaks out a lot. This is a loud, just a very out there individual. He is not private whatsoever in terms of having a public persona. This man is well known in the community. And his notoriety could help the company or it could hurt the company. He, again, doesn't have a stake in the company, but the name itself is his last name. So right now, crazy enough, and this could be some conspiracy type thing. This could, bring up a lot of controversy. But as of October 6, 2020, John McAfee was arrested in Spain for tax evasion and could face up to 30 years in prison for tax evasion. Some of this is tied to cryptocurrency. Some of this is tied to other business dwellings. I'm not a part of his business. I don't know what's really going on, but this is what's in the news. Could that hurt the company? I don't know, but I don't think so. Ultimately, I don't think people who are looking to invest in McAfee are going to look at John McAfee and his arrest as a problem for the company because, again, he hasn't been associated with the company since 1994, 1996. And usually people who invest at least Google and look up a little bit before they invest. But nevertheless, if you're into the cryptocurrency world, you also know that of the previous 5 to 10 years, he's made a lot of big predictions about the price of Bitcoin. He's also been a part of what people call pump and dump schemes, where McAfee will put out his recommendations for certain cryptocurrencies, and then you would see it go up, and then it will be dumped in the same day. So a lot of people will lose money, and a lot of people will make money in a short period of time. Over a few days. That happened in the last 3 to 4 years. And of course, he was criticized for that. He's been criticized a lot because he says a lot and he makes a lot of bold predictions. Some of them come true. A lot of them don't. Some of them have yet to come true. We'll see where it goes. But nevertheless, I'm saying John McAfee, even though he's loud, even though he makes a lot of predictions, even though he's surrounded by controversy, and right now he may be in prison or he may be out, I would not say or predict that his reputation hurts McAfee stock. McAfee has way too strong of a brand. As I said before, the brand of McAfee is stronger than John McAfee, the person. Now, again, does some of this correlate in terms of the company going public again and John McAfee being arrested for tax evasion in Spain within days of each other? Those announcements coming out? Could be, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's my quick rundown on McAfee and the IPO that should be coming. Again, the date is October 22nd. We're looking at shares between $19 and $22 per share, but it will be priced, at least as of now, it's saying the pricing is going to come on the 21st. Will you invest? I mean, the brand is certainly popular. This past year, they've gone into the black in terms of profitability. They have a lot of debt, a lot of long-term debt in the billions of dollars, but are they worth investing in? Is the brand strong enough to continue? Do they lead in the cybersecurity industry, in the internet security industry, in the software security industry? Do they lead today, or is McAfee a weaker brand? I don't know. You tell me in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can be aware of the next IPO video that's coming. The few IPOs I'm looking forward to. Number one, Robinhood. I'm still curious to see if they come out with an IPO in 2020. And of course, Airbnb. I am waiting. I am anticipating more details about the revenue, about the losses, about the income. I want to know about Airbnb because I'm really interested as a potential investor. And when that IPO hits, I know it's going to be popular. How much money can be made from it from the short term and long term, we'll have to wait and see. But again, subscribe to the channel because I guarantee you I'll be making videos about both of those companies. I appreciate your time. Thanks for the subs. Thanks for the likes. Have a good one.